I know this is risky, but the first guy is Garrett Wilson. And the reason I'm going to go with it is he said, quote, he feels great and that he's, quote, super pumped to be back out there. So I'm taking that as he's going to go. And this is such a low number. You know, it's a little higher on a couple of other sites, but just in case, I say let's go with this over 50.5, minus 125 Fanatics. The Browns use man coverage at a top 5 clip. Wilson averages a massive 39.4% target share against man. That's a 38% boost compared to zone. His yards per route run against man boosts 74%. Also, Justin Fields, our presumed starter. And look, if the Fields doesn't go, I'm good, because that means it's Tyrod Taylor. But Justin Fields sees a 14% increase to his adjusted yards per attempt against man. The Browns have also been a perimeter funnel the last 5 weeks, having allowed the 4th most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to opposing outside receivers and the 8th fewest to the slot. Teams have been really picking on Tyson Campbell, who has helped decoy Metcalf, Kayshon Boutte, and Mac Hollins to have recent games against them. Yes, I've changed Metcalf's name. It's not DK, it's decoy, because he's a glorified decoy. Dave Montgomery, we did lose this last week, but we're going to have the courage to go right back to the well, and it's not that courageous because DC's done, and they're going down, and they're going down hard in this one. The Commanders do have a decent run defense, but they have allowed the 4th most scheduled adjusted fantasy points per game to opposing runners over the last 5 weeks. The Lions are 8-point road favorites with the slate's 2nd highest implied total. So they're going to score a lot of points. Jared Goff's probably thrown 3 touchdowns. I wish I could figure out who to whom, but it's going to work out for Jared Goff and the Lions. And David Montgomery gets 54% of the backfield carries, 58% of the expected fantasy points when the Lions are leading by multiple scores, compared to just 38% of the carries during all other scoring margins. So they're going to have a big lead in the second half. Mariota's in trouble. Debo, Ertz, I don't think they're doing crap. So it's just going to be a lot of handoff to Dave. I did consider Gibbs for sure. You know, Gibbs should crush them too, but I actually think Dave, with a number that's like 24 yards lower, and based on what I just said, I actually think Dave is the safer play. Now, this play may not be that safe, but if he plays 3 to 4 quarters, and obviously if he's inactive, then I guess it'll be a moot point. But Rome Odunze is going to do it this week, so we're doing it. Over 55.5, minus 110 on DK. Not 100%, so there's some risk here, but given the matchup, it's too good to pass up. The Giants, a top 5 pass funnel by pass rate over expectation this year. They've allowed the 5th most receiving yards on throws traveling 20 yards or more. They're playing man coverage at the highest rate in the NFL. They've gone over 32% man in 8 of their 9 games. There have only been 2 games for the Bears up against a defense that plays as much man as this, basically. 30% or more, let's say. Only twice it's happened. In week 2, Rome Odunze had 7 catches for $128 and 2 touchdowns on 11 targets. And then in week 8, he had 7 grabs for 114 on 10 targets. He has a 31.2% target share against man, ranking 5th best among all wide receivers, and double the next closest player on the Bears. He sees a 60% target per route run boost and a 61% yard per route run boost against man compared to zone. He should be the first read, and we track that at Fantasy Points Data, first read target shares and the like. The Giants have allowed the highest, actually the 6th highest first read throw rate. So the first read gets thrown to against the Bears, or the Giants, basically. And their top corner, Colston is out. I mean, we can even go deeper, but I'll move on because I have other guys to get to. Trey McBride, over 63.5. The Seahawks used the 3rd highest rate of zone coverage. McBride, solid against zone. That's his deal. He is their zone beater. He sees a 30% increase to his targets per route run against zone compared to man. If you recall on Monday, I said, look, this is not a good day a good matchup for Trey McBride. That's why I went over on Marvin Harrison. Flipping the script, baby. We're going over on Trey McBride. Seattle also gives up the 8th most receiving yards and the 5th most receptions per game to tight ends. And, oh, by the way, he is averaging a lot better with Jacoby Brissett, 7.6 catches and 67 receiving yards per game on 11 targets. That's pretty darn good. Derrick Henry, we've been losing a couple of these, but 76.5, he's still playing really well. In his last 5 games with Lamar, he's averaging 5.93 yards per carry. That would be the RB1. 2.66 yards after contact, RB10, and a 10% success rate on these runs. Actually, no, 10% of the runs have gone for 15-plus yards. That would be the second best. All these marks are better than Derrick Henry's marks from 2024. They're 4-point favorites. Viking defense has been a top 4 run funnel. Henry sees a 30% boost to his snap rate and 133% boost to his fantasy points per snap while leading. Very good schematic matchup. 62% of his rushing attempts on zone concepts, 10th most. Those are the exact runs that the Vikings have struggled with. We even went as far to note that most of Henry's rushing attempts have gone to the outside, to the C or D gaps, and the Vikings have been significantly more vulnerable to those runs. We're going to go with some unders here next up. Oronde Gadsen is a big number, 54.5. We have O-line issues. We have a Steeler defense that showed signs of life last week, and we have Jalen Ramsey, who could potentially keep him cold, basically, like contain him. And the Steelers run all man coverage, and he's not done well against man coverage, only 0.68 yards per route run. Colston Loveland, same thing, not good against man coverage. So we'll go under 33.5. Also, Cole Kmet is back as well. And then, like I said, correspondingly, the Cardinals, I don't believe, are good enough to support 2 big games for 2 different receivers. So every game, it's either a Trey McBride game or it's a Marvin Harrison game. Last week was Marvin Harrison. This week is going to be Trey McBride. So he might get it with the yards. He might make a play. So I like the under 4.5 reception prop. Again, Marvin sees a 34% drop to his targets per route run against zone. Next up, Bijan. We're going back to the well, but we're going to do total yards under 114.5. The Falcon running game is broken. They have failed to reach 100 scrimmage. He has failed to hit 100 scrimmage yards in 3 straight games. 73% of his runs come on those zone concepts. He's averaging 5.6 yards per carry on those runs, but Indy has been very good against those runs, just 3.77 yards per carry. And Bijan did play 96% of the snap, but the Colts give up the 16th fewest receiving yards as well. So it'll be close, but I think they'll hold him to under 100 yards. And I will pop out the best bet without any further ado. And it is, in fact, Mr. Alec Pierce. The schematics just too good. So I do worry about the London effect a little bit here, but just an incredible schematic matchup. The Falcons using the highest rate of single high, and out of 150 receivers with at least 100 routes, Pierce is third behind Puka Nacua and Ricky against that shell, and he also crushes cover 3. He's due for a touchdown as well, so I would like to pop out the touchdown props that I have, and one of them is, in fact, Mr. Alec Pierce, and that'll wrap it up.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at 0 cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.